Masechta Sanhedrin Daf Mem Gimel Aben Aleph. We're starting from the second wide line on Daf Mem Gimel Aben Aleph, the last word. The Gemara is going to, Ravashi is going to bring a new marker. From where do we learn out that the Beis Haskila was outside the three machnes? Ravashi Amar Meisha Hechav Yasser Meisha. Where was he? Where was Meisha sitting when the Mekalel was brought before him? So the Gemara b'Machne Levi. He was sitting in Machne Levi, and the Kadosh Baruch Hu said to him, "Heitzes Hamakalo, take out him who was cursed, who cursed Eibushter, showing that he could be taken out of which camp? Of the Levian camp. It means, and this that the Torah added El Mechutz Lamachna. From this that the Torah says to the outside of the camp, so we can learn out also an additional camp that he was taken out from, Chutz L'Machne Yisrael, outside of the Machne Yisrael. It says, the Ravashi continues to explain the Psukim at the end of the Pasha. This that it says, Vayotzi es HaMekalel, that it says that they brought him that had cursed, they brought him out. He's coming to teach you that's to come to teach you that the Yidden did exactly like the words of Meisha. In fact, I don't need a pasuk. It says my call to teach us that they did like Meisha to commanded. It says openly when he saw Meisha. When Yisrael had done exactly like the Eibushter told Meisha. So what is Vayitzi coming to tell us? And Litchia. It's come to teach us that the Eidim who are testifying put the hands on the Mekalel and with Chia, and they also had those that heard the Eidim push him off the cliff, off a two-story high building, or two-story high height. So, and that's what he's kind. That doesn't say befedish in the pasuk about smicha and chia. That's why we needed this pasuk to teach us that that's what they did. In fact, the Gemara Rabbanon. You might ask on Ravashi, the Rabbanan said, according to your sheet, that you hold that from the pasuk Hoitze El Mechutz Lamachna, you can learn out two things, two different machnes. So, in fact, you might by Param Nasafim, aside from saying Chutz Lamachna, it says Hoitze also. Honey, all those haitzos that are written by Param Nasaf and Maidarashbu, what are you going to dashen with them? Because you already learned out the three machnes from this that it says Mechutz Lamachna three times, and which by the Par Helam Dava Shal Tzibah and also by the Par Kayam Meshir. So what does the Haitzi come to teach us? Kasha says Gemara Taka is a blight Kasha, meaning according to the Shita of Ravashi. We learned in the Mishnah, one stood at the Pesach of the Best, and that attention as the Best, and he had the kerchiefs in the hand, and there was a horse distant from there. Ravuna said, and the purpose of it was that if they found reason to acquit him, they would have the horse chase after the accused one being led to be killed, and they would bring him back to Bezdin. And the kerchief was to wave to show that they should bring him back. It was a simon for the horse and rider to run after the accused one who's being led to his death. Beside the stone that did the skila, inside the tree on which the dead person is hung on, inside the kerchief, the scarf with which they strangled, all of these kulam mishal tzibar come from the tzibur, and there's no chiyuv and you're not mechayiv the accused to bring for this from his own possessions. My time, what's the reason? The day from his own money. We don't tell the condemned one, go and bring these items from his own property in order to kill himself. But you have the effect, the kerchief that is waved and the horse that races off after the Bezdin's shliach to stop from carrying out the execution. From whose possession do they come? Since they are needed to save him, this is the accused one, or the convicted one being led to execution, maybe it should come from his own property. Or perhaps should I say, since Bezdin is mechuyev to try to save him, so they have to use items to try to save him. It has to come out of the has to come out of the Bezdin, out of the tzibur. We said that the Bezdin gives one who's being led out to be killed grain, meaning kodes of frankincense, and they put it into a cup of wine in order to confuse his mind, and that will minimize his suffering when he's led to death, when he's being killed. Okay, we just should never, like it says in the pasuk, it says, give old wine to the one that's being killed, to the one that's lost, and wine to the bitter soul. Sagt die Gemara, and we learn, the prominent women of Yerushalayim, they would misnatus mavisais, they would donate and bring it. Now the Gemara is, if these prominent women would not donate, so from whom would it be taken? Mishami, who would they bring it from? Is it from the Nidain, from the accused one, or from the Tzibur? Surely it's from the Tzibur, from the community, because it says, since it says in the pasuk earlier, the previous pasuk that we brought out before, that Bezdin has to give him the wine, and there it says Tanu, which is mashma, when it says Tanu, which is in the plural, indicating that it should come from Medidhu, from the plural is coming from the Tzibur. Who was sitting before the Dayanim said, Yeshli Lamed Allah Schus. I have svaris to acquit. And then Miyat Nishtatik, and immediately he became quiet. He couldn't speak anymore. He became a mute, and he couldn't say the limit Schus. Ma, what's the din? Do we have to be concerned that he had Mamash's dictator's words, that he had svaris to acquit him? And now Rav Sheshes be they. Sheshes just waved his hand and said, "Afilu lenishtatik," meaning he said about if you about being concerned about somebody who's nishtatik. He said we're not concerned about it because if in Cain afilu ach b'seif ha'olam nami, meaning if so, even maybe there is someone we should be concerned. Maybe there's somebody at the end of the world who can give find a schus for the nidai, for the accused. So the Gemara, you can't compare. So the Gemara slugs up the words of Rav Sheshes. Hasam, there, whoever is coming to who's loikama. Nobody said that he has a limut chus in the place on the other end of the world. We never heard somebody saying, I have a limut chus for him. I have a kindness to acquit him. But over here we're talking about that the guy before said that he has kindness in order to acquit him. What's talking the din in a case where before he could say his tinus, he became a mute. So Gemara Tashma, come in here and I'll answer you. That one of the Talmud students who argued to acquit the defendant and then umeis, and he died. We look at him as if he's alive and standing in his place and voting to acquit the defendant as one of the dayanim. Zok the Gemara zikein, only if he came with he said the fetish tinus to acquit the defendant and with the reasons. Avol aloizika, but what's if he didn't come with reasoning to acquit him? He just said he has reason to acquit him. Lay, we're not concerned. Zok Gemara zika pshita. Pshitali, of course we have to be concerned if he came with tinus to acquit and then he died, we have to be concerned and count him as a vote. But Omar Tibayale, says the Gemara, over here he didn't actually argue to acquit, he just said that he has tinus to acquit. So that's where it was the Shaila. So the Gemara, since we already brought earlier on Afilu, I'm sorry, Zakti Gemara Afilu, where are we up to? Afilu, again, so the Gemara says that's Pshita, that when he said, I'm sorry, Pshita, when he came with tinus of Schusm, he actually said the reasoning, yeah, we'll count him. But if he only said Amali, and by a case where but he didn't give the reasoning behind it, in this we have to be Mesupik. And that's the Shaila in the words of Rabbi Yisrael Chanina when he says that have tinus to be lalamet chus. Should we not be? Should we say we're not concerned, or maybe no? We should be concerned because it's uncommon that before a person should finish his words that he should die. So he says, and really, if there would be such a case, Rabbi Yosef would maybe agree that we should be chayshish to his words. So the Gemara, it says, we learned afilu hu, even if he, meaning the condemned one, himself says that I have tinus to acquit myself, even the first and second time, he has to have mamash's word tinus in order to be acquitted. We learned from the Brayso Pam Rishayna Ushniya Ben Sheish Mamish B'Dvar Ben Sheish Mamish B'Dvar Machzin Noisei. We learned to finish the Brayso, even if he doesn't have mamash's tinus, we still bring him back to Bezdin. And from after the first and second time, if he has mamash's words as svaris, then we substance to his statement, they return him. But if he doesn't have substance to his words, we don't bring him back to the Bezdin. So we have a contradiction. And now Mishnah says the befedish that any time that he comes, even the first two times, if it's mashma, all 5 times he could always come back. So the Gemara, only if there's mamashas to his words, only if there's going to be, even from the first 2 times, he has to have mamashas to his words. Papa said, take me pam shnei v'elach. You have to teach the words of the Mishnah means only from the second and on, from the third, fourth, and fifth. There will say that he has to have mamashas to his words, but in the first 2 times he doesn't have to have mamashas to his words. In fact, how do we know Taka the first 2 times? We if there's no mamash to his words, we still bring him back to Bezdin. Then neither, and we bring the accused one. If he came with these times, we bring him back to Bezdin. Abaya said the masrina le zugi abana, because they would send him with 2 talmidei chachamim, aside from the memunim for taking him out to skila, and they would check if there's substance to his words then they would return him to Bezdin. And but if there was no substance in his words, like they wouldn't return him. But why not send a pair of Talmid Chacham with him from the outset? That meaning, even the first and second time, have them make the initial assessment to see if he has substance to his words or not. And the Gemara Agav the boy is because since he's facing execution, so he's afraid by the thought of him being killed. So therefore, so he can't say all that he has to say, and perhaps out of fear he will be confused and not provide this substantial reason to overturn his verdict. Okay, sagt die Gemara, sagt the Heilige Mishnah, if they found reason to acquit, they acquit him and release him. But if not, if they didn't find a reason to acquit him, he goes out to be stoned, and somebody in front of him screams out before him and publicly proclaims plainly and plainly, this plainly so and so is being taken out to be stoned. Al Shabbat plains for being sinning this particular sin. And he and this person are the witnesses. And and the guy who was screaming in front of him says, anyone who can find chusim on his behalf should come and testify for him. Abaya said, in addition, he also has to say that it was on such and such days, such and such hours, such and such place. Says the Gemara, because perhaps maybe there are Aiden that know that in this time these Aiden were elsewhere, but also these Aiden will come and will be Mazim these Aiden who testified that he killed somebody. Sagt die Gemara, we learned in the Mishnah that a crier or somebody, a screamer, cried before him, the one that's being condemned while being led to execution. Says the Gemara, only in front of him. But before going, you don't have to make the achraza before, even 40 days before his skila, saying that whoever, telling everybody all the details of the story, so that people should be able to come and be mazam these edim. But Tanya, so this part is which officially you won't find in the Gemara. It's called Chesreines. You'll find on the side that they bring down this piece of the Gemara, which was let out maybe because that they were afraid that the Goyim would know about this Gemara and make a tumult. In fact, Gemara Tanya, we learned in Abraisa, better Pesach Yesh HaNetzi. On that Pesach, they hung Yeshay the Nazir, I'm sorry. After they killed him by a way of stoning. He was taken out to skila for this, that he used sorcery and persuaded Yidden to avodah zarah. 40 days before, they made an announcement, whoever knows any merits up for Yesha, that's Jesus. But they didn't find any merits, and they hung him at a Pesach. So it's mashma. Over here, it's mashma that you have to make a achraza 40 days before Hama'ula. Do you really think Yesha Neitzi Barapichis Chosu that if we would look for dinim to be Mahapichis Chus, he was a Mason. Rachman Haman. The Torah says, but the Gay to Mason that you shouldn't have Rachmanis and you shouldn't protect him. Only the difference is Yesha Netzi was close to the king, meaning he was close, with the government and the Goyish authorities were interested in his acquittal, and therefore the court gave him all the opportunity to be able to acquit himself. About Yesh HaNetzi, in short, how did Yesh HaNetzi come about? Because there was Yani HaMelech who had a brother-in-law, Shimon ben Shattach. Yani killed all the Chachamim. Shimon ben Shattach, after things simmered down, Shimon ben Shattach told Rabbi Yeshua ben Prachya that he can come back. Rabbi Yeshua ben Prachya headed back to Eretz Yisrael from Mitzrayim, and there was a woman that helped him out, saw him and respected. He's a chesed person, and gave him tremendous respect and gave him whatever he needed. And he told his student, "Look how beautiful this woman is." And the student said, "She's not so beautiful. She has round eyes." Anyway, so Rabbi Shimon ben Prachya took out 400 shayfris and put him in chayrim. And for years he would come back and keep on asking Rabbi Shimon ben Prachya if he can come back. And Rabbi Shimon ben Prachya didn't let him back. But the last time when he came, Rabbi Shimon ben Prachya was Miller Krishma, and he motioned with his hand, but really he wanted to come back. And that's where he started the whole new religion. And Rabbi Shimon ben Prachya told him to come back, and he says, "No, that I learned in Yeshir, somebody who's a maces, a madiyach, and harabim cannot do tshuva." Anyway, so there it says that they killed him. They killed him in Bezdin, but this happened 150 years before. It says Abichil Paris had a debate with Napoleon, and he told him that it couldn't have been the same Yesha, because the Yesha that was killed by the Bezdin was 150 years before this Jesus was killed by the Romans. So he says it wasn't the Yidden, it had to be, it's a different Yesha. Anyway, Zakti, you want to tell me about Chamisha Talmidim Hayalil Yesh HaNitzi. 5 Talmidim Yesh HaNitzi had. And what were the names? So he goes through like each one. Sasai, Nekai, Neitzel, Veni Veseda. They also were Mechuya Misa, and they also were given all these chances, or we answered all their questions in order, because they were close with the government. And not because you have to make ha'achraza. And not because you have to give them a chance 40 days before. Asiru l'masai, they brought Masai to be killed. Amalahu, Masai said to the Chachamim, Masai yaharek, aksim Masai avi v'hirav b'nei elikim. It says, when shall I come? Masai means, when shall I come and appear before Hashem? So how could you kill him? He was talking about himself. The Chacham said, yes, Masai yaharek, l'chsim, Masai yams v'yavet shmei. It says, B'feidish, Masai shall, when shall he die, and his name should be wiped off, wiped away. They brought the Nakai. So he said, the Nakai said, "You're going to kill the Harig Aksiv, but not going to tzadik after Harig." It says, "The innocent and righteous you shall not kill." So Amalai, so the Chacham said back to him, yes, Nakai Yaharig, Nakai does get killed. It says, but in secret places he kills innocent, and that's what Hitaka did. So you want to Asur Neitza, they brought Neitza. The Neitza Harik, yes, Neitza said, Amalu. Neitza said to the Chacham, you're going to kill Neitza, Aksir, Neitza Misharashav, Yifda. It says, and a branch, that's Neitza, shall grow from its roots. So the answer, they said to him, yes, Neitza Harik, the Chsiv, Ata Shlacht Mikivrecha, but you were thrown out of your grave like a disgusting branch. They brought Buni in to stand, meaning to be killed. So Amalahu, Bani said, Bani should get killed. It says, my firstborn son is Yisrael. So the Amalei, the Chacham said, Bani Yaharik Nechsiv, Heina, Hine, Aneicha Heirik has been Chayecha. It says, behold, I shall kill your firstborn. This is brought down in Pasuk of Gimel. In Shmei's Pasuk of Gimel. So from this Pasuk, it's enough to kill you. Ask you, L'Seida. They brought Seida. Zakne Amelahu. To stand trial, meaning to be killed, to stand trial. Amalahu, he says, should be killed. It says from Pasuk Mizla, it says that you should sing of thanksgiving. Taida, this thanks is which is thanksgiving is a mizmar, is a psalm, is a capital for thanks. Amalahu, they said yes, Taida should be killed. It says that whoever slaughters Taida, Kabin Taida, honors me. Sagt die Gemara, Amen Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, Kol HaZaveh Chasitzei, U'Mizvad Allah, whoever can shach says Yitzhara, and says, Vidui, Mail Allah V'Akosa, the Torah considers the Kilu, keep the Allah HaKadosh Baruch Hu B'Shnei Eilam. It's as if he respected the Eibishter in both worlds. Okay? He had honored the Eibishter in both worlds. The word, Chsiv, Zeveir Teidai Chabdonani. Zeveir is Malashon carbon, and Teidai is Malashon Vidui. So that's what it means, that those two, it correspond to both words, Elam Hazah and Elam Haba. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, Zman Shabbos HaMikdash Kaim, Adam Akol Eila, Schar Eila B'Yodei. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi said, in the time of the Beis HaMikdash, if a person brought a Eila, he has a reward of giving for bringing up Eila. And Ika Mincha, Schar Mincha B'Yodei, he has the Schar Mincha, Al Mi Shadai Tishvala. But somebody whose spirit is humble, he's an Anav. So the he could call out kabbanas kulam. It's as if he sacrificed all the kabbanas, like it says in the pasuk, Zivchei Elokim Nishbara. Like it says, the offerings of Hashem are of a broken spirit. Meaning, teaches us that somebody who has a broken spirit, with an honor, is equivalent to the offerings, all the offerings of Hashem. So not only that, his tefillah is not rejected. Like it says in Pasuk, like it says, a broken and contrite heart, Hashem, you will not despise. Meaning, that comes out of some of a Lev Nishma. Learned in the Mishnah. When the condemned one was a distance of 10 ames from the place of the stoning, they said to him, now say vidui. So was the derech of all those that were being executed to say vidui. Whoever says vidui has a portion in the ilm haba. So we found by Achan that Yeshua said, B'ni simna kavod alekei Yisrael yitin le'toida. My son, please give glory to Hashem, respect Hashem, God of the God of the Yidden, and make confessions to Him. And Achan as Yeshua amna al deichatas l'Hashem alekei Yisrael because and Achan said, yeah, I sinned against the Eibishter, and like this that I have done. Like it says, says from where do we know that the vidui, the confession, achieved a kapara? Says like it says in the Pashunim, like it says in the Pasuk Yeshua, ma avartanu yakorchom Hashem b'yemazeh. Yeshua said, why have you brought trouble for us? The Eibishter shall trouble you this day. And on this day, meaning Yeshua said to Achan, on this day, your judgment, you are troubled, but you will not be troubled in the world to come. This father is, what if he doesn't remember his avenes and he cannot detail the sins, he should say that let my death be an atonement of all my sins. Rabbi Yehuda says, if he knows that his testimony was mamish lying testimony, it wasn't even true, he should say, let my death be an atonement for all my sins, except for this sin. Disagreed with Rabbi Yehuda. Every person who is being condemned should not make will say the same statement just to make them names clean, which is not true. They actually did sin. Sagt die Gemara, Tante Rabban haben gelernt. Tanya Rabban haben gelernt. It says, "No, kvod Allah Hashem Elokei Yisrael v'san le'Zayda." It says that please, no, give glory to the land, to the Eibishter from the God of Israel, and make a confession to Him. No, so he says, "Ain't no Elosh Makosha." No, it's only a lashon expression of bakosha, of supplications. I know. That in the time when the Eibishter said to Yeshua, the Bnei Yisrael sinned, Yeshua said to him, Ama lefanav Ribeinu Shalom, Emily Michat, tell me who sinned. Amalei, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, the Chidil Tayo, am I a snitch? Am I then a snitch? Rather make a girdle. And so Yeshua meant he made a girdle with Nafla girdle al Achan, and the girdle fell out on Achan. Amalei, Yeshua said, "The girdle ataba Allah, you're coming with a girdle to kill me." Atva laza hakain mishnei gdela atem imani mapel alich girdle alach mekem hu neifel. He said, what kind of a business is doing it through that? He says, if that's how you're going to do it, do you come to execute it because of a girdle? So let's say you and Eliezer, Akayin, are the two most, the cheshvis, the leaders of the generation. So if I put out now a girdle upon the two of you, it will for sure fall on one of you. So what then can you prove from a girdle? So Yeshua said to him, please don't cast a bad name or lashon hara on the girdle, because and in the future Eretz Yisrael will be divided by a girdle. Like it says in the pasuk, it says only with a girdle the land shall be divided. 10 Teda. He says, say vidui and be made alamas for your chatas, for your sin. Avina says, klum nevakish mimcha ela ida. And Yeshua won over Achan by saying these words. He says, do we ask anything of you? All I'm asking is for a confession. Make a confession and be potter, thinking that if he confessed, he wouldn't get killed. So immediately, he said, indeed, I sinned against the Eibishter, and like this, and he gives him this, like this, and this is what I have done. He gave the details. So Avasi said the name of Chanina, that Melamed Shemal Acham B'Shleisha Charamim. So here we see that he had a no from things that he wasn't allowed by 3 places. Twice in the days of Moshe and once in the day of Shua. Like it says, like this and like this, which means to like this I have done. That means it's 2. And then Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Shimon, Chamisha was 5. Abba b'mei Moshe v'achad Yeshua. 4 in the times of Moshe, and 1 in the time of Yeshua. Like it says in the Pasuk, Shanema Anechi Chatasi. Chatasi is 1. V'chazais v'chazais. Chazais v'chazais. Asisi, this and this I have done. So Zais and Zais is 2. And then the V'chazais, the 2 vowels, make it to 4. So you want to be at Hashta, my time, Loi Anish. We want to say, if so, what was the reason that the Jewish people were not punished on Achaz account until now in Moshe's time? Rabbi Yochanan, Mishum, Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Shimon, Lefish, Loi Anish, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't punish tzaddikim al anastaris and alveiros that the Shayim did it in a hidden fashion. Until the Yidden crossed the Yarden. So Gemara Kitanoi that say, Kitanoi says Gemara that this machlekes of Tanoim. Why? It says in the pasuk, ad olam. It says, but those matters that are revealed belong to us and to our children. Those that are revealed forever. Ad olam, meaning that we may do all the words of this Torah. Meaning, if they did hidden sins, so this belongs to Hashem. Tzaddikim are not responsible for those sins. But on Aveda that the Shem did in a revealed way, then the Tzaddikim are responsible. Why are the Pintalach and the Sefer Torah on top of the Aces of Lanu Vanenu and the Ayin of Ad? And Rabbi Yehuda Malamed, it comes to teach on the stars. The Eibishter didn't punish on the hidden sins until the Yidden passed the Yarden. Only them did the tzaddikim become responsible for even for the hidden sins. Leave Rabbi Yehuda. Those are the words of Rabbi Yehuda. Amalei Rabbi Nechemia Anish al Anistaris La'ilam. Is it possible to say that after they passed the Yarden, HaKadosh Baruch Hu punished tzaddikim for averos that were hidden? It says, it says all the hidden sins are to Hashem. It's the tzaddikim are not responsible, and that's forever. It says the words Adolam. So Adolam is going on a study. So on the Niglois, you don't have to say Sheyina got Olam because the punishment is there on those revealed sins. So the Gemara Ella al Kochach that the Kudus is come to tell you just like the tzaddikim were not punished for the hidden sins, so too Kach Loi Anish, so too the Eibishter didn't punish the tzaddikim al Einoshim Shebegoli, even on the Avedas that were openly done by the Shem. Achav Yisol Es Hayadin, till the Yidden went over the Yarden. Only after they went over the Yarden, the tzaddikim are punished, even the Avedas that were done openly from the Shem. But certainly on the Avedas that were done in a hidden way, the tzaddikim are not responsible and they don't get punished. In fact, Rabbi Nechemia, only according to Rabbi Nechemia, my time Anish Achan, why Achan sinned b'seisa? So if he sinned, so why were they punished? So the Gemara answers, Mishum Davayade Ishtay Uvanov, because it wasn't so hidden, because his wife and children knew about it, and they didn't protest. Chati Yisrael, says the Gemara, and he brings many dashes, Maisachan, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Yeshua, the Yidden sinned. So what happened? From this that it didn't say Chata'am, Alpha Pisha Chata Yisolu. So he says that Rabbi Zavda said from here we could learn out, even when the Jewish people have sinned, they are all still called Yisrael. This is what people are accustomed to saying. Beni Chilfi Asa Shmei Ve'asa Korolei. This is in accordance with the Hisafa that people say, even when a myrtle is found among thorns, it's name is still a myrtle, and people call it myrtle.